everyone, I'm Rob Smith of Smith in the Black here, and usually it's on Mondays, but summer hours. So power hour on Tuesday, this today and next Tuesday because of the holiday, and then we'll go back to our regular Monday schedule. So for newer folks, this is where we get everything done. This is where we got to find out what you're doing right, what you might be doing wrong, and how we help you out. So if you got questions, you can start typing them in. As always, if you can't make it, you can always email questions in, and that way they get answered. It's recorded, and then you can go watch the recording later. So what we got here to start off the new month is SPY is an inside day, right? And so for the week, either side of this inside day would probably change that continuity, but we got a new month coming, and we're much closer to taking out the highs of the month. So that's just how we've been living, exhaustion risk. And as I just pointed out in Strat Attack Show, and I was doing this at the end of the day to show you how the price discovery will start over during an inside day. And this is where we say the triangles are too tight, all right? And you can see this 5-minute broadening formation. I drew it back into here and went bink, 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 and it will get bigger. It just couldn't get out of the inside day. So there's that. So like I said, if you got questions, start typing them in. Might be a sleepy session. I don't know if we'll do a full hour tonight. I don't know. We'll see. See how much you guys got for me. So on email, if I'm buying a stock based on the monthly signal, how much do I increase my stop, or do I increase it at all? I typically use 10 cents when I'm buying on the daily signal. And thanks for all your help. And so you just use the same thing. Just make sure that signal stays in force, and then you can just leave it be. We had some nice ones on the downside, like Visa here, taking that monthly low out. That was nice. MA. And then you just let it play out, because there's going to be micro tries day out, like this stuff in here in MA. You can see triangle day out, 2-2 reversal right back down. But if you're in from up in here and stuff like that, it doesn't really matter, right? You just let them play around a little bit. Actually, that might have re-triggered it here, but then you can get back in, right? Then you get that combination signal. But yeah, keeping the stops tight is key, because we know that when we're right, we're real right, and just to let them go. So there's that. And as far as you guys, looks like there's only 3 of us here, so it's like it could be summer hours. This could be the power 5 minutes, but we'll see. If you guys got any questions, start typing them in. That's what it's here. That's what we're here for. So Sunday's still working on more of the course. That's coming along. So we got a bunch more of that stuff coming along too. As you know, that we're still brand new here with the CPA group, and we are behind the scenes doing everything we can to get up to speed as fast as possible. And but you can see this market has just been a real snoozer. So all right, hey, all right, there you go. Let's see if I got any more email stuff in here. I think I got something in here. So all right. Yeah. And so some of the issues, another friend here is saying it's like, uh, main issues. I fade way too much. Yeah, people tend to do that. And that's why a couple things you can do here is one is run things by me. 2, say what you're doing out loud. Doesn't make any sense what I'm doing here, right? Be like, I'm totally fading this thing even though it's green on all time frames. No, you're not going to do that, right? So that helps when you say things out loud, what you're doing and why you're doing it, and run it by me. I can call it off right away and be like, no, It's like a lot of things today, we're still inside days. I'm like, no, nope. And second problem is I use too much size when I fade, right? Because you're not going for a very big move. That's the problem. Yeah, that's one of the good things why, when the strat kicks in and the broadening formations kick in, is that you get bigger moves than most people get, right? And so it doesn't take a lot to make a lot. The key with that is that we're cutting our losers fast, right? So you want to be able to add to your winner, not open up the entire position, because if you do that, just a couple small losers are going to take everything away, right? Because then you got to make that back, right? But if you just have these little micro losers, who cares? Because as you've seen, and if you're new, when you do see some of these big movers that we get a hold of, yeah, it's not even close. So do not have well-developed holding winners muscle. Yeah, and that's another thing that I talked about with like the gap list is just opening, create winning positions, and some people just leave. Be like, I'm not gonna. I don't want to sit here and stress out and watch the micro tries take me out. If it works, it works, right? As you've seen a lot of gap and goes, gap and reverses, they really go, right? If you can get a hold of that early enough, and then you just leave. Because if you have a winner, you don't have to do anything, right? If you got a loser, you got to do something. If you have a winner, you don't have to do anything. You just let it be. Because for every winner, there's a loser who's trying to get out, right? Uh, and stress, yeah. So looking at other strategies before finding us, right, is another question here. I'm like, yeah. Um, and JR, welcome, welcome. All right. All right. So, yeah, the thing is, with the strat is like, some people it takes a little while longer, but it's still eliminating as much emotion and subjectivity as you possibly can do, right? And that's what you want, right? And then as time goes by, what you'll see is when volatility expands, you're going to love the strat because one of the reasons we hunt volatility is because when we're right, we're real right. Tight stop, but if we can get a hold of something that's really going, um, and we do, you know, you'll see. You'll see. Right now, it's like I call a lot of stuff off. I'm greedy. I like my big old red and green bars. If I don't have them, I don't like to do anything, right? Because we know we can make hay. When things are moving, we can make hay, right? Just getting a hold of that. So just want to touch on a little bit of that. And okay, let's get to the questions. How do we tell if it's a triangle layout or a full-blown reversal? Depends on what you can hear me say a lot. What's the next two? What will that create, negate, or do? Right. So let's say, do we have like, are you anywhere near reversing any of the higher time frames? So let's say you're bright green on the month and the week and the day, and the 60 starts to come in. That's triangle layout, right? That's just profit taking. They're not, you'll hear me say this all the time. Like you ain't turning that thing red anytime soon, right? When you have like maybe Apple yesterday, I wasn't here, but something like this, and Apple was just gunning here, right? It's like anytime it came in yesterday, you were inside week to the upside. You were in exhaustion risk, but you're nowhere near taking this thing red, right? So anytime you had the 60s coming in a little bit, that'd be triangle out, right? So here, didn't really even come in at all on the 60, but so anything micro, you weren't turning this thing red, right? No way, right? So that means we're looking at some profit taking into exhaustion risk. So triangle out is going to be, this business in here. Now triangle out. Triangle yesterday, some of these guys out. You still weren't turning that red, but now you got an inside day, right? Now that would be a reversal on the daily back down if you could take it down tomorrow, right? But you weren't going to do it yesterday, right? And do I recommend preferred setup to begin with? Yeah, I'd stick with 2-2 reversals and 2-1-2 reversals to start off on 60 and 30-minute basis. And depending on, you know, um, who you are, like I don't know if you're swing trading, if you're just going to be day trading, you're going to combine it, what you want to do. But staying on 30 and 60 reversals back in the time frame continuity, yeah, the 2-2s and the 2-1-2s, they'll work just fine. Because another thing that I'll say a lot here is that some people will come in and try and learn every aspect of the strat. You don't have to do that, right? One trick pony is more than enough. You can always branch out. You can always say, okay, I've got the hang of this. I've got plenty of winners on there, and then I'm like, okay, well maybe I'll start doing some 3-1-2 or stuff like that, and say I'm going to take the Apple 3-1-2 weaker into magnitude yesterday. Bam, right away, and so it kind of took off pretty quick. But you can take that weekly break when it breaks the week here. Like when it's racing like this and it breaks the week, you can take it right there. Right? It's just if you had a tight stop in here, they weren't stopping you out. This thing was gunning, right? I know not everybody's going to be that fast on the trigger, but you can do that. And PG, is that making sense on the triangle of the out? Just want to make sure you're clear on that. And Rob, I've been actively fighting FOMO for really no good reason. Can't figure out if it's because summer doldrums or what. Yeah, so because that can be a problem where you get these initial moves and then nothing. Then you got to fight your way into this stuff, right? Yeah, that's bam, straight out the weekend vid. And patience can be hard for people too. You're like, nope, 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 nope. Like today, personally wouldn't have done very much. Seeing this inside day cooking all day. It's my job to try and find stuff, but because another thing you'll hear me say on the headset, if I didn't have to be here, I wouldn't be. There's a lot of times like that. So let's shake them up a little bit here. And that's why we'll stay on the gap list and stuff that's moving. People that got to do something. Because if I'm fund manager, I don't have to do anything. My phone's not ringing at all. New highs, new highs, new highs. Everybody's happy, right? I don't have to do anything. But now, new month. We're also coming into the exhaustion of the third quarter, and then as we get into the fourth quarter, as we've as I've been saying for over a year now, how are you not going to be inside years? Airlines and all those kind of guys can be inside years. See you in 2022. Lots of gaps and sits, yeah. Well, if you got a hold of this baby today, this is nice. Boom. 2-2 reversal off the 60. That's it. Where'd that thing break? 1073 down to 813. That's a nice move, percentage wise. How do we know if it's a gap and go or a gap and stay? It'll tell us. It'll stop you out. If it don't, boom. That was the 30 on this baby. That was a little trickier, but boom on that 60. See you later. So if you got a hold of this baby, then you go do something else. You come back and say, I'll take my 813. Couldn't get a borrow? Boo. So that'll happen too, but these things happen all the time. That's the good thing about the gap list. It happens all the time. And one can make your whole week. So being patient. Is the setup there? No. Then don't do anything. And any particular indications? Yeah, just do we have signals in our direction? And that's why I go through them at the opening. Say, are we an exhaustion risk? Are we coming back to previous range? What are we doing? We prefer they come back and fill quickly. Yeah, that'd be great. We prefer that because whoever stayed long, whoever was long this thing, they got what they wanted. Nice beefy gapper. But then they all so the thing about it is why you get the gap and fills on even something that has discernibly good news. Everybody's seeing their profits vaporize, and so they all go, takey profit, bam, right? Right here. Everybody hits sell at the same time because they want to get out of some of this stuff. Yeah, BBIG, a lot of eyeballs on this thing. There you go. Take that 60 right back up her. Triangle day out. Get. Yep, Kaz, I'm still here, so it must be on your end. BB Bigley. So environments are what they are. Like I said, we could use a two downer. Haven't had one since March last year. Eesh. But such is life. That's why we go hunting day pukers. Somebody's puking somewhere. And W, yeah, perfect. Boom. Inside, inside, and dump. Look at that perfect dumpage. So once again, triangle the out into here. Right? You ain't turning this thing red or green anytime soon. Not today. Right? And if that works, it triggers the weekly. The monthly's no help, but you're running out a month. So tomorrow you could be inside week and down and have full time frame counter to the downside, which don't uncouple until Thursday, which is better than over the weekend because then you got to wait until the following Tuesday. But so at least we'll have that. Okay. Like I said, it might be a shortened power hour since summertime. You can see like it's already a skeleton crew here. uh, Posting Strat Attack Show on Twitter for you. It's only 6 minutes long. Looks like the class is a bunch of smarty pants. Everybody knows everything. Consider myself. I don't consider myself either. I consider myself a jack of all trades. It's all a matter of your time frame. So the thing about it, like if you're brand new, here, just drop me an email so I know who you are. That's the important part because what the strat will do is it customizes itself to who you are. So once I know who you are and what you're doing, I know you better than you know yourself, and I can call directly to you. Here's my email. Because everybody's different. And that's why it's important to communicate with me and the group, because that way you can see the people that are doing what you're doing, right? That helps. The subgroup of the subgroup try. And PG with options, tight stops, you can get stopped out right away. Yeah. It's always a matter of what options you're doing and how you're using it. And Amba and Crowd. Amba. Sue. Inside monther. So you can gap through the inside month and try to get out of here after triangulate out down here and triangulate out down here. And hopefully this is the middle of the try and you stay out of this stuff. That's what I'd want to do. I'd want to get out of here and I want to stay out. Stay up above these guys. And the crowd. Crowd's just going to be exhaustion risk, I bet. 222. This was so nice. Look at that. Boom. So outside month or so, if you get outside of here, you want to stay out there because that's your try. That's this thing here. So once I get out of here, I want to stay out. Otherwise, it's look out below. And Labo. So Labo, you had this. This was nice to rev strat last week. Right, the question is going to be strong enough to come on all this kind of stuff here. You're closer to the 2-2 month, so that'd be a compound 3. If it gets above that, that's good. Triangle the out and triangle the out. Just got short-term exhaustion risk on the daily because you're going into the recent highs. All right. But if you can get out this month and stay above there, that's something I'd want to know about. Don't be hunting these guys up here because we got our lower low. There's your lower low. So the question is, triangle these guys out or these guys? All right. The sub try down in here is going to come up on here. So as long as it takes out that month and I'm above that, you're good. Can I speak why the PSAR is good for us? Yeah. It gives you like a frame of reference of time, right? Sometimes people just sit there and get bored, like you'll have like guys who are using moving averages, like I'm waiting for the moving average to catch up. You know what it can do for us is it just keeps you in something when you're in exhaustion risk. See, I don't know, maybe that apple yesterday. Say, okay, I got apple in the weekly break, real nice. Right, just boom, right? Nowhere near stopping this baby at yesterday, right? Carries you right into the bell, right? And then boom, gone, see ya. And so another thing this can do is like if you're looking to get long, it tells you what to look for. Like so here, let's say that there was more signals to the upside already in Apple. So once the PSAR flips to the sell side, you can look for a buy signal to flip it back, right? That helps you tell you to look for that you've got your triangle layout. Here's the triangle these guys out down into here. Then you get your inside 30 right here. Boom. Flipping back up. You get this bar here too is a two up. It looks like here, so it can help you to recognize when to look for reversals back into the direction of time frame continuity. Let's see if Apple had anything better on like a 15 or something yesterday. So if you're watching it on the 15 and say I'm just going to cut it when it takes this out, right? Once I get into exhaustion, it's because you hit magnitude on the week. Once you took that out, then you could watch this and say, okay, it did what it's supposed to do. If it wants to keep running, I'll let it run. But so here you can see this stops out. So you might have said, look, Rob, this thing is not taking that day red, right? It's not. Okay, so I'm looking for a way in right here. Stops them out. This tells you to look for the buy signal, and here it is. The 2-2 reversal on the 15 back up. Oops. Yeah, usually the inside days are in the vid. And then you combine that with what else is going on. Let me see here. behind the scenes when they push them hard going into the flip, it depends. I mean, depends on what's going on. They might be cleaning the order up. Say, all right, machiney, do your little job. And then in 5 minutes, you can take a break. So it depends on which flip it is, too. I mean, you could be coming into European close. You could be, different things going on. And so, yeah, with the PSAR, you can use it on multiple time frames, too. Be like when I have a monthly signal and I know I want to be in on the month, you can wait for that to kick the triangle out on the daily. Triangle the out, get. So you can see here on the daily, to start off the week was a 2-2 reversal. And if that works, it's going to trigger that week. See? Boom. And if that works, it's going to put you back into a buy signal on the PSAR. Yeah, the grindy grindersons can get a little annoying. 7 time frames too. Yeah, some people that's all they do. Rack up them time frames. Mm-hmm. And next Tuesday, it's going to be a real full house. Strat Attack, Power Hour, and then I am returning to the Festival of Traders. With inside days, could one use the hourly for an early entry? Yes. I find they usually do not have much magnitude by the time my reactor has already hit. Yeah, yes, you definitely can. And that's why you'll hear me say, what's the next two? What will that create or negate or do? So if this 60 works, it's going to break that day, right? And that's why when you put all the pieces parts together, you can go down to the 5er, 3er, that's be like, if the 5er hits magnitude, it's going to trigger the 60. If the 60 hits magnitude, it's going to trigger the day. If the day hits magnitude, it's going to trigger the week, right? Like Apple. If this 2-2 kicks in, that's going to trigger the weekly break. Boom. Off we go. There you go. And that's why, for most people, it's not that bad to start on 30s and 60s. It takes a while to set up. 60-minute rev strat takes 3 hours. Not everybody's going to be the 5-minute, 1-minute ninja. But you might be. Never know. Mm-hmm. We've been waiting a long time, but When the volatility shows up, you're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. Boom. None of these little Lilliputian breakouts and retrace. Powder kegs blowing up. Lots of time to get set up. Yep, plenty of time. Let's see. And so I did have another question from Nick. Should I be sticking to the 30-60s? Both on that. On the gappers, yes, 30 and 60s. Stay on that. You'll be glad you did. And there'll be days you do nothing. Didn't do nothing. Stopped out. Also, another problem for some newer folks is getting stopped out and getting back in. All right, that's something you want to learn to do. Do battle. If you get stopped out and the signal kicks back in, get back in. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, that one didn't work. I'm moving on to the next one." It's like, nope, still good. We just got micro tried out by some chump. Yep. There you go, Larry. Because you're going to get stopped out. Get used to that. That happens. It's when you don't. And especially for new folks, we do this every week. It's always recorded. So every week. And so the reason we usually do it on a Monday is because so you have the weekend video, and then we let them open on a Monday. Then we can talk about what's going on, and then strat attack is on Tuesday, because that's when you start to get a better handle on what's going on this week. Like nothing, but you got a new month and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then FAS to the downside. Well, FAS just did this, the 322 monther, right? So we knew about that. Now the question is, are you going to go 3 on the weaker? Come down here. You got a doji. So which side of this thing it takes out? Something I'd want to know about. It's Citicorp is an inside day, still inside week. So not sure. So the thing about the weekend videos, like these things, this and J.P. Morgan, all these things, we kind of want them to complete to the upside. Even though FAS and XLF have already completed theirs. So you're not getting any more oomph out of those guys. They did what they were supposed to do. And new month, let them open. And you got a holiday coming. uh, yep, Larry. Like I say, wait for them to triangle the out. They will. They always do. I always do. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Because the problem is, even like Apple, it's hit magnitude on Monday, and then nothing inside day. So part of my job is pulling back on things and being like, these things are doing nothing. Yep. If you're going to go after the inside day, as soon as it breaks that, yep. It's just directional, so it's got to keep going. Your magnitude is only really to take this out, but your hopes is you get out of this. You see, these 3 days are inside of this, so you're hoping to get outside of this thing, outside day. You're hoping the buyers from last week step up, so you can see on the inside week. They stopped them out, but the buyers didn't step up. They backed off. Stop them out. Now the question is, the guys who caused this, are they coming back now? That's what I want to know. Roku. Roku, we knew about the monthly problem of this thing here, right? 2-2 reversal on the month. We knew that was going to be a problem for them. And here's your 3-2-2 for these to be coming outside bar of that. All right, and it just exhausts a little bit down into here. Hasn't hit this thing yet. So it just kind of stalls out. Slight higher high, just kind of doing nothing really. So the question is going to be 2-2-2. Take this thing out. So anytime this week, it's down there below 351.19, that gets my attention under that. But like many things in a bit of a holding pattern, doing nothing, guys get chopped up in here. Killed. Because one of the things you can tell that makes days harder was when I do the strat time report, and if I'm not talking about any specific sectors, that tells you there's not much going on. We want to have sector activity because we look for simultaneous breaks, and that gives us a lot higher probability. Like today, I'm talking about fragmented stuff. It's tough during an inside day. You prefer the ones where I'm like, they are buying these, they are selling these. Right? We prefer those kind of days. Or everybody. It's like, what are they buying? Everything. Yeah, nah. I'm up at the Hamptons at the club. New highs. I don't have to do anything. New highs every day. I don't have to answer my phone at all. Feel like you've learned more in the last 2 weeks than a long time ago? Good. Good, good, good. If we can get conditions to change, give me a 2 down, please. Remember that pandemic that lasted 2 months? And that was it. Uh, Last week for summer break, New York City. There you go. So you got a lot of people spending the last week with their kiddies. Then next week is a short week. That's when people are like, oh, after Labor Day I'll pick up. Usually not. End of Sep. Doesn't like to work that hard, making money anyway, but we like them easy peasies. ZM, ugh, stuck in the opening range the whole day. Couldn't get out of there. So your hopes would have been this thing, the 60 downer. Then it just didn't go. Boo. Oof. Bam. We'll take these guys out. 270, 320 for Kathy. Ugh. Boo. All the puking right out the chute. Yeah, no touchy. You're the 30. So here, you could have gone here in hopes that this 212 goes back up into the gap and gets stopped out. And after that, then you had that 60 down that did almost nothing. And then by that time, you stayed in the opening 15-minute or 30-minute range for the whole day. Okay. Okay. All right. See you in the morning. Hopefully we get some more good gappers for ye. Certainly the inside days and SPY and Qs to keep an eye on. How'd you define overtrading? Losing. Once you have the strat, you realize how undertrading you are. It's a matter of how much you can get to. Obviously, there's busier days than others, like today, but if you go back through the charts and look at everything every night, you'll see how much you really did miss. Yeah, grinding your account to zero, don't do that. It's one of the best things I ever did when I started trading. If I started losing, I'd stop. Because you'll continue. I mean, if you went through every chart, all the movers, everything that happened today, you realize how undertrading you are. Right? It's a matter of how much you can handle. And how you got back in what and where now? After getting stopped out, how do you get back in? Next signal. As soon as there's another signal. if you have every reason to believe it's going to work. Because oftentimes it'll happen that you'll be building the triangle by getting stopped out, which makes the triangle bigger. That's good. Most people mention X number of trades, which I'm always over what they say. I draw the line if I have a couple of losses in a row at the moment. Sure, that's fine. Because most traders don't know what winners and losers look like. We do. Oh, I'm sorry. When I would stop, yeah. Well, then I'd reassess what I was doing. Like, why is this not working? And then came the strat. And then it's have at it. Technically, you can take any two. Right? It's a matter of how fast you are and do you have, magnitude and your stops in tight and stuff like that. But technically, a two, any two should work. If it fails, it goes three. Right? It's a matter of putting all the pictures together. Yeah. Saying if this works, what's that going to create, negate, or do? If this fiver works, that's going to take the 60. That 60 works, that's going to take the day. If that day works, it's going to take the week with a monthly in force. Every reason to believe that's going to work. Especially when we have the simultaneous break. For newer folks, simultaneous breaks are very difficult to turn around. That's why we look for them. All right? So one of the things potentially we'd be looking for is a strat attack show tonight. So we know the XLE. Almost all these guys, XLE, OIH, and the months, these are all hammers. XEC, Oxy. So if you get all these things to break at the same time, that's good. That means they'd be buying energies across the board. That's something I'd want to know about. Build winning positions all day, then clean up my pile of winners at the end of the day, right? Yeah, take profit. Well, you got also an environment here where things do tend to peter out, but just like losers tend to get worse, winners tend to get better. You just might get bored. Or another problem that some people have is that they're so used to their losers that they're afraid of their winners turning around and turning into losers. And that's most likely not going to happen, right? Just remember, your worst losses are somebody else's biggest winners. Just remember that. Thus the old saying, I got out too early. It's still good. But I saw money and I wanted it. I know you did. But in the words of Thurston Howell III, when Gilligan had a winning lotto ticket and he bought it off him, and they formed their own club, and Gilligan says, money, 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 money. I can't wait to spend it. And Howell said, spend it? Egad, boy, why'd you want to do that? The only reason to have money is to make more money. So there's that. And even if you do want to cut some of it and say, okay, I'm going to leave for the day, but I have a winning position, you can cut it, part of it, stop the rest, and be like, I make a little or a lot. That's it. That's what's going to happen here. Even if I get stopped out, I made something. But if I don't, all right. Well, it's a little early here, but I think it's a little slow, so we can cut it right here. Summer hours. Uh oh. Unfortunately, this weekend's Bonnaroo Music Festival has been canceled. Okay, on that note, let's cut it here. And we'll see you bright and early. And we'll do this every week. So, welcome, new folks and older folks alike. We'll see you bright and early. All right.